Welcome to Exploring a D-Rob. Let's go. Good morning, welcome back. Had some things going on, hadn't been able to get a video up in a while, but back up in the red today. Starting here at the Copperas Falls trailhead. Gonna head out and check out Snow Arch and Double Deer Arch. May check out Hopewell along the way back. Let's get out there. Ain't gonna lie, about 30 degrees with the wind blowing. Wind chill around 20 degrees. It's pretty miserable out here this morning. As I mentioned, today's hike starting from the unofficial Copperas Falls trailhead. Either way, you want to come around 715, come around park at the Osborne Bend parking trailhead, or one of the Copperas Falls parking areas that's roadside, just down the road, maybe 100 yards from the Osborne Bend parking. Gonna take the unofficial Copperas trail out through here to the large campsite. If you're not familiar with this trail at all, I'll put a link to my Copperas Falls video on here. Well, you can check it out, kind of familiarize yourself with the area a little more. In my Copperas Falls video, you may recall that I walked up a dry creek bed most of the way. After some recent rain though, today got a little water in the creek. So what you want to do if you come and there's water in the creek, just work your way across here at this first little crossing, over to the left side of the creek. Trail follow up the left side of the creek out through here until we reach the large campsite I mentioned. At that point, we'll cross back over. As you follow along the creek bed, you'll encounter several large boulders. This being one of them here. And here's one of my favorite trees. Pretty much all roots exposed, growing on top of a rock. The unofficial Copperas trail, like in the name, is unofficial, but as you can see, as highly trafficked as it is, it's as good as most official trails. At 6/10 of a mile, just before we reach the large campsite, if you look up to the left, you may see a familiar rock. Some people call this shark's fin. Some people call it Triforce Rock. It's a pretty neat little feature out through here along the trail. Right at 7/10 of a mile, you will reach the large campsite. Come in this big opening. This is where we're going to veer off the trail and head up the old arches. As you come past the large campsite, you'll look across and see a small drainage coming down. That's the drainage we're going to follow up. So we got to work down, get across the creek right here, and we'll follow up the right side of that drainage. Pretty easy little rock hop gets you across Copperas Creek. We'll follow up this drainage, staying along the right sides of the Easiest route up through here, best I remember. I'm going to follow up the right side of this drainage till we reach a fork where two drainages meet. Not sure how visible it is on video, but there is a faint user trail following up through here. More boulders up through here as you'll come across several. Here's another one of the trees I like. It's growing completely on top of the rock. This one here is not as big as the other, but still find that really fascinating. I guess before I get too far along, I should mention this is all off trail. Even the Copperas Falls trail is an unofficial trail. So this is an area in the Clifty wilderness. We'll be sure to have a good GPS unit or a good app for tracking your route. Definitely don't want to get out of here and get lost just looking for an arch. So you know how well you can navigate your ability in the woods. Just go prepared. At one point, the little user trail that you'll be able to pick up through here goes up away from the drainage. You do want to follow it up away from the drainage. Makes it a little easier to get around some deadfall and large boulders. If you're looking at a topo map just before these drainages meet, you'll work your way back down the hill, down to the drainage here. As you can see right over here, somebody's marked this with a ribbon. I'm gonna work down to the drainage here. We're almost to the V where we want to cut uphill. At approximately 2/10 of a mile up the drainage here, we come to the confluence of these two streams. The drainage we've been following continues straight ahead up through here. And we have this drainage coming in from the left. What we want to do now is we're going to work our way up right here across this drainage. Here in the V, work our way straight up this point. That'll take us up and get us close to Snow Arch. As you work your way across the drainage, you'll be able to continue to pick up a faint user trail up the hill here. This is where we get into a little elevation headed up to the arches here. And coincidentally, not sure if you can tell, as we're headed to Snow Arch, starting to get a few snow flurries. As you work your way uphill, you encounter some more large boulders. And if you look straight up, you see the base of a cliff line. This is where the trail is going to make a little turn out through here to the right just a little bit. Work around this cliff line a little ways until we can find a break and get on up towards Snow Arch. Some really cool geology up through here along the cliff line along the way. As we work around, you'll see a little bit of a drainage here. As you come up, you'll want to continue straight up this drainage, get through this break in the cliff line, work our way on up. A little thick up through here in spots with some scrambles, but I want to follow the faint user trail up around through here. Follow the path of least resistance. And there's a few scrambles, so just be ready for that. As you come up and start to reach the higher cliff line, walk around under this little rock shelter here, work our way up the hill. And we come out at Snow Arch. Snow Arch. After taking a couple minutes to check out Snow Arch, I'm gonna work our way on around Double Deer Arch. From Snow Arch, you just want to work your way down right here. Gonna work around the cliff line, follow around this Double Deer Arch. If you have a fear of heights, this little section here may not be for you. As you come around below Snow Arch, the ledge here is a little close. Probably got a 15 to 20 foot drop down to the next level there. Just be careful working your way around through here. Again, this portion here gets pretty narrow. You gotta work your way around this ledge. Work your way around through there. Just take your time and be safe. Right after that narrow part, you'll come out to this little rock shelter. Pretty neat little spot. Just past that little rock shelter, you'll work your way up right here. Come up to the cliff line. Just around the corner here, Double Deer Arch. There does appear to be a little work around here if you don't want to go under the arch to get to the other side. I'm gonna go down through here and go under the arch, so. It would have been a lot easier if I'd have took my pack off, big dummy. After going over or under the arch, whichever you choose, you come on back. Check out another little cool rock feature here. A little shallow cave. Another look at Double Deer Arch from this side. I'm thinking the quickest, easiest route back down to the Copperas Creek Trail is probably the same way we came, but I'm going to investigate. There's a user trail heading down here. We'll see where this goes. After assessing the situation here, I believe this user trail just comes down, follows around along the cliff line. get you past the little goat path you have to come around. For those who are afraid of heights or thinks that narrow ledge around there is a little too sketchy. As I remembered, you come on down just past that cliff line. I think I found this the first time I was here. You got a little double window. Unfortunately, I don't think either one of those holes are big enough to exceed 3 feet. Making this neat little feature, just windows instead of an arch. Well, just for giggles, I thought I'd stick my trekking pole up here. And this actually may be close to 3 feet. Maybe we do have an arch. And as I expected, once you reach a certain point coming straight down the hill here, you do get cliffed out. So I'll head back up the way we came and head on back down out of here. Definitely not very photogenic from the top. I think we definitely got an arch here though. If you come around this lower cliff line, check it out. Looks like somebody's worked on making some rock seats. Coming on around the cliff line here. Here's the little narrow ledge you come around. If you look on up just above that, right here is where Snow Arch is. I'm going to continue to follow around this cliff line, see if there's a way on around through here. Definitely a usable trail around through here. Follows along the base of the cliff line. Brings you out to this point. Work your way up to Snow Arch there. Not sure it's necessarily any easier. Just cuts out the fear of heights anyone may have. Well, I came back down the point from Snow Arch there, which was a different way than I went up. But as I came back down and around, I've intersected here where we started up at. So really, the easiest way back out's the way you go in. So once you work your way back to this point here, just going to work our way back down to the drainage, back to where the confluence of the two branches split. Work our way back down to Copperas Creek. Pretty easy hike on the way back out, mostly all downhill. As you follow your way back down the drainage here, as I mentioned earlier, always a good idea to use a app to track your route. Some people navigate in the woods a little better than others. In the event that you were to get lost or whatever, you can always look back at your track on the way in, make sure you're headed back out the right way. You didn't notice it on the way in as you come through some of these first boulders you encounter. If you look up to your right, you got a little false arch. As we get back down to Copperas Creek, my large campsite's just past the rhododendron there. It's still about an hour before lunch, before La Cabana opens. So, since we're exploring the D-Rod, we're gonna work our way across the branch right here. Pretty sure there's an old road bed we can connect to up there, and I think we'll stop by Hopewell Arch on the way out. I think I've already intersected the whole road bed here. I'm gonna follow this up. Should be able to follow around the cliff line to the Hopewell Arch trail. As you look down to the left here, you can see the large campsite. Pretty easy walking out through here, as you can see. The old road bed is well defined. A few trees down here and there, but really easy to follow. To be quite honest, I believe following this whole road bed around through here is as easy or easier than following the unofficial Copperas Trail. If you're familiar with where Hopewell Arch is, or if you've watched my Short Hikes 5 video, right over here is where Large Marge is. the big boulder that crosses almost the entire width of Copperas Creek. As you may make it out, there's a little user trail coming up right here. This is the trail that comes up from Copperas Creek. Here's where the old road bed and it intersect. Maybe we're getting close to Hopewell Arch. Come across this small drainage. This is the drainage that flows through Hopewell Arch. Come just past the drainage. Trail kind of opens up a little bit. And you'll see the well-beaten path will continue uphill and to the right. We'll follow this up. Takes us straight to Hopewell Arch. Once you work your way up to the cliff line, you're almost at Hopewell Arch at this point. And do a little scrambling. Go up in behind this tree, on up onto that next rock layer there, and you can work your way out to Hopewell Arch. If you look real close, right through there, you can see the opening a little bit. Once you've worked your way up that little scramble, you're rewarded with Hopewell Arch. Just follow back down the way we went up, back down the cliff line, follow the user trail back down towards Copperas Creek. Come back down to the old road bed. You can come back the way we came, go down, cut across the little trail back over across Copperas Creek next to Large Marge, or you may head out a different route this time, continue up this old road bed. Follow this out almost all the way to the road, where we will make a way down to the first campsite you can see that's barely out of sight of the road. This is just an alternate route, give you a little different view. This boulder here is growing all kinds of trees over top of it. As you see the cliff line up to your right start to come to a point right here, you look down to your left, make out an old road bed headed down here. This is the way we're going to head down, bring us out to that campsite barely outside of the road. Work your way back down past the little campsite where there's a gentleman at. Work your way back across onto the unofficial trail. We're almost back to the road now. Leave my way back to parking here. We'll go ahead and sign the video off. Go get some lunch at Like Bottom. Hope you enjoyed today's adventure. Got to check out snow, double deer, and a revisit to Hopewell Arch. If you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it that thumbs up. If you like my channel, be sure to subscribe. Hope to see you guys again soon. Thanks for watching.